Hi everyone, I'm Frank from the City of Games, and today I'm going to be playing Sid Meier's Civilization: A New Dawn, a new game that's just been released from Fantasy Flight Games that I happened to pick up yesterday, and I thought, I want to give it a go, and why not record it? So this is going to be my first play of this game, and you know, it's a strategy game, so what could possibly go wrong? As you can see, I've already set up the board, and well, everything's in place, and you can see we're playing with two players. We've got the Aztecs over here, and we've got Rome over here, the blue team and the red team. And the board has been set up using the default starting setup that's in the rulebook. So there are a variety of setups and advanced modes to do this, but I've just taken the standard way that it tells you to do it, and we're doing a two-player board. So with more players, there's more map tiles, and the board gets bigger. The only other difference that I'm aware of between two-player and the other player counts is these decks of wonder cards, which have different eras, have a few more cards in the higher player counts. But other than that, the game is basically the same. We've got three cards over here that have different objectives. Each player needs to achieve one of the two objectives on each card. When someone has completed an objective on all three cards, they win the game. So the first player is going to be the Aztecs over here. And just to kind of give you a bit of an overview, we've got our capital city that starts on this location, and the red team have a capital city over here. We also have some various resource locations which are on the board. We have some barbarians, which are obviously enemy attackers, and then we have some cities which we can go to and trade with. We can attack them, we can take them over, and we also have some natural wonders which will give us additional resources. In front of me, I have a focus bar, and there are 5 cards. Each player has the same 5 cards, but they are in different orders, and this is explained at the start of the game at the bottom of your character sheet. So for me and the Aztecs over here, I've got astrology on the left, early empire, foreign trade, masonry, and pottery, and each of these is basically a different action. So on my turn, I'm going to choose one of the cards, and then I'm just going to activate that card. Once I've chosen a card, it's going to move to the left-hand side, the other cards will slide across, and that's the end of my turn. The game just keeps going. Each player has a go. At the start of each round, this little tracker moves on and different events can happen. The barbarians can move, our cities can produce goods, they move again, and then new barbarians are going to form. And they'll appear on the board if we've killed them in the previous rounds. Other than that, we're going to be able to buy these wonders, and wonders are going to give us special abilities, and we're going to be able to upgrade our tech, which is kept on this little tracker, and that's going to allow us to get new cards to upgrade the existing ones. So that's us basically all ready to go. And my Aztec faction over here, they have a special ability. So after I reset my military focus card, so basically my combat card from here, if I've won at least one of the battles, then I can swap any 2 cards in my row. So effectively, that's pushing me to be an attacker. Rome over here, when you move a caravan from your economy card, it can be moved from any of your cities, even if it's not a mature city. So normally when you move your caravan, you either do it from your capital or you do it from a mature city, but the Romans get to move their caravans from any city they have. So I'm getting a feeling that we're going to be doing combat and fighting over here and trading over here. With combat, I think that I want to probably go down the tech route, and I think with the trading, I probably want to go down the wonder route. So that's my plan. I have no idea how this is going to play out, and I need to take my first turn. Now, depending on where the card is on the track, you'll see there's different numbers and different terrains at the top, and effectively, the further it is to the right, the better it is. Some cards rely on the value, and the value is shown above. So if pottery was to rely on the value, it would have a 5, whilst if it was down here where the empire is, it would have a 2. And equally with the terrain types. So there's grass, there's hills, there's forests, there's deserts, and there's mountains. And when I'm doing different actions like moving across terrain or building stuff, I can only build on the terrain type I'm on and the ones beneath me. So pottery over here is my ability to either build a wonder, but I don't have the resources for that, or I can build one city on a legal space. So I think I'm going to do that because it's in mountains, which is the highest terrain type. I'm going to take the pottery and I'm going to build a city. It has to be within 2 spaces of an existing friendly city, or friendly space, sorry. And I think that I'm going to obviously build it from here. Now, I can't go over water, and I want to kind of keep to the edge because in my eyes, you want to mature your cities. And maturing your cities means surrounding them with tokens, and it's easier to do that if you're on the edge of the board. However, this does allow me to build on mountains, and once I've used it, it's going to go to the bottom of the track. So if I want to go on a mountainous area, this is a good opportunity to do that. So I'm thinking I'm going to go here. It's within 2 spaces. It's on mountains, which I can do, and it's also close to this resource. So on the next turn, I might be able to grab that resource. It is in between some barbarians, but I'm the Aztecs, I'm the fighters, I'm the warriors, so I don't really care. I'm going to move my cards along, I'm going to move the pottery down, and I am done. We're coming over to the Romans, and I think the Romans are going to do something similar. Their pottery is also starting in a 5, so it makes sense to be building a city on the first turn. And again, they've got this natural wonder near them, which effectively means they'll get a free resource every turn if they want to use it. So I think because I'm in the mountainous area, and again, the cards are the same, I'm going to build a city over here, and that's going to be the end of my first turn. We start a new round and the event tracker moves on, and nothing happens this round, but from the next round onwards, things are going to start to happen. The Aztecs are looking, they want to, as we said, we want to be kind of fighting. We want to probably kill these 2 things, so we can start getting trade goods for killing barbarians. We probably want to get the resource just because it's near us, possibly get this natural wonder. I feel like I want to keep to the edge, and I mean, this isn't a great place because it's going to be hard to surround myself. There's going to be 4 spaces, but I do need to fill one here anyway for this city, so it's not too bad. I feel like maybe I want to come down here because this seems like quite a narrow corridor, and for me to block myself in and kind of mature my cities, this is going to be a good place to go. Now, you might be asking, why do I want to mature my cities and surround them? And that's a good question. It's because I haven't told you about the victory conditions. So, on this card, I need to get my tech to 24. Or I need to complete 2 of the blue wonders. I don't know what the different ones are called, but it's the blue ones. I think that's alchemy or science. It's got some sort of bottle symbol. Oh my goodness, I'm wrecking the theme of this game. Civilized is that I need to build 8 cities, or I need to get 2 of the yellow wonders. And populous over here, we've got 5 matured cities, or 2 natural wonders. So in my head, I'm kind of thinking, if I build some cities around here, I'm working on both getting the 8 cities, and I can possibly push to get the 5 mature cities. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to be looking to get my tech up. Because I don't really want to go down the wonder route too much. So I'm going to be kind of doing the expanding, tech, and killing kind of plan. So what am I going to do this turn? I am thinking that I want to, oh my goodness. So this allows me to reinforce control tokens, which I don't have any of at the moment, so that doesn't really help. This allows me to move my caravan around, which does get me some trade goods, but at the moment I'm not really too keen on that. Masonry also does allow me to attack, and attacking is arguably okay, but I mean, I don't know if I want to kill these 2 things just yet. They're both on mountains as well, and mountains means they've got the highest defense. I could put some control tokens down and then start kind of expanding around. I mean, this is on a forest and I've got a forest, so that could be good. That can get me this, and maybe I can start blocking myself over here. I mean, if I can mature one of these cities before we get to this turn, then I'm also going to be able to start getting some trade goods that might help. So that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do an early empire. I'm going to take 2 of my control tokens. I'm going to put them down, 1 on here, which gets me the Mercury, I believe it is. And I can do it on the forest because I'm within the forest track. And then I'm also thinking that I'm going to put 1 over here. The reason for that is because it's just a bit further away from the barbarians, so they're not likely to move on to it to kill it just yet, or they're less likely perhaps. And it's also going to help start blocking this one in. So that's my 2 tokens, and I'm going to move this card down to the end. We're coming on to the Romans, and the Romans, they want to come over here. They want to take this natural wonder. But this does require you to have 5. So the natural wonders are effectively a terrain type of 5. So they kind of classify as mountains in regards to being able to take them over. But my control token card is at the end slot. So that's already set up. So I think that I can do that straight away. So I'm going to put one control token on there, which is going to give me the natural wonder, which means that for now on, until someone else takes this from me, I'm going to be able to use a diamond anytime I trade. So if I want to buy one of the natural, one of the wonders over here, then I'm going to be able to use that as well. So that's going to help me out. And I've got one more token, and I can put it in any terrain type because I'm in mountains, and I do want to surround this city and this city eventually. Now, this is a mountain and this is near me, and because I'm in the mountain area, this feels like a good shout. There's no point in putting it around these ones yet because I'll be able to do that when the card is in a lower area. This game seems to all be about you know, working out when to use which card, when you want to power up a card and let it wait for it to get to the end, and then when you want to kind of just use it quickly over and over to fill yourself up. So for example, with my early empire here, I can now just use it again straight away to take over these ones, or I could let it go up one place and then start taking the hills and so on. So that's me done with the Romans, and time's going to move on. So now we get our first event, and the barbarians are going to move. So at the start of the game, you put this little disc around the board. It's got numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You roll the dice, and quite simply, I got a 2. And that means the barbarians are all going to move in the direction that the 2 points, so they're all going to move across to the right. That is fairly simple, and that's not going to cause anyone any hassle. If they can't move because it's the end of the board, then they just move back the other way. So again, that is absolutely fine for everyone so far. There's no damage that's been caused. And in fact, I guess this one's a bit scary because this barbarian is right up by my city. So I definitely need to kill that now. I can't afford for it to come in and potentially attack me. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my masonry and I'm going to perform 2 attacks. So I'm going to go straight in and attack this one. So when you do this, you can reinforce a number of your control tokens, which basically means you turn them over. They have this white line, and it means that when things attack them, they just have an extra health. Or I can perform up to 2 attacks within 2 spaces of friendly spaces, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to attack this barbarian as 1 attack, and then I think I'm probably going to attack this barbarian as a 2nd attack as well. So first attack, we basically roll a dice. So the first dice is going to be for me, and I get a 6. The second dice is for the barbarian, and the barbarian gets a 2. Then we add up the combat values. So the barbarian's value is going to be equal to the terrain type, which is a 1, plus the 2. So the barbarian has a 3 defense. My attack is equal to my attack, or the number of the card focus column I'm activating. So in this case, a 5 plus the number I rolled. So basically, that's as strong as it gets. So it's 11 versus 3. I totally destroyed the barbarian. The token is taken off the board, and it will come back when we get to this symbol here. And I can take 1 trade good. Now I can place a trade good on any of the cards that I want to place it on, and the trade goods allow you to improve cards and how powerful they are when you use them. At the bottom of each card, you can basically upgrade the action using trade goods, and you can have up to 3 trade goods on a single card at any time. Now, I don't know what I want to do. I want to advance up the tech tree, and this is moving along, so I feel like I'm going to put this on astrology, so that when I get this up to the mountainous region, then it becomes a value of 5. I can use a trade good to increase it to 6, and then I'm going to be able to upgrade myself 6 points, which will actually unlock 2 cards in one go. So that seems like a good plan for me, but now I can do a 2nd attack. And I've got this one over here, which is within 2 of a friendly token. So again, I'm going to attack this one. But this one is on a terrain type of 2. So I'm going to roll the dice for me, and I get a 1 this time, which is really not good news. And I roll the dice for the enemy, who gets a 3. So the enemy is going to get 3 plus 2, which is 5. I get 1 plus 5, which is 6. So I do win that combat as well, but that one's a little bit closer. B comes off the board. I get another trade good, which I can put wherever I want. And I feel like I'm going to put it on Early Empire, because Early Empire is the one that allows me to put control tokens on spaces. And the trade goods allow you to put extra control tokens. So by having that on there, that will allow me to put down 3 control tokens on 1 turn rather than 2. So I've used masonry, I've attacked twice. This is going down here. But after you reset your military focus card, if you want at least 1 attack, and I did, you may swap any 2 cards in your focus row. So I'm thinking that I want to swap some cards. I'm not too fussed about trading, so I think that I'm going to move my early empire all the way up to the end column, and I'm going to move foreign trade back down. And that's going to end my turn. What I've just realised is I wanted to do this, didn't I? I wanted to try and block myself in so that I could get the extra trade goods, and I completely forgot. I freaked out because of the barbarian. The barbarian wasn't going to move anyway, so oh my goodness, that was terrible. I should have gone for the control tokens here and here. That would have allowed me to make this one mature, which would have got me some points, but oh well. That's totally fine. The Aztecs are learning, the Romans are going to show them how it's done, and the Romans are now in the same boat. They know that trade goods are coming up next, so can they do anything that's going to get them some points? I don't know actually, because when I do place 2 control tokens, I can only do it on the hills, and I'm only doing 2. I don't have any trade goods. I can't push it up. The best case is I could cover like these ones, but I can't surround either of my cities, so perhaps I'm not going to do that. Now, what am I at? I've got my caravan, and I can move stuff with my caravan, and that's possibly going to be a good bet for me, because I want to start buying wonders. I want to start powering up, and because I can move a caravan from but I need it here because I want to move it from this city into here, and this would give me some stuff. But I can't go over the mountains till it's across. So I need to get this one out of the way before, so this will move across. I don't really want to reinforce stuff. I don't really want to attack this barbarian because it's on a mountain. This one's on a mountain. So I think, oh my goodness. I think I'm just going to reinforce these 2 just to make myself that little bit stronger, make everything around here a little bit stronger. That's going to use this... Oh, yeah, I can reinforce up to 5 because I'm in the 5, but I just don't have them on the board. But I do want to get my foreign trade up there. I don't feel like it's an efficient move, but it is going to help me with some of my future plans. We're coming back over here. Time moves on. Now, all of our mature cities would get a trade good. Mature cities are ones that are completely surrounded by either water or friendly locations. None of these are, because there's a mountain there that's not covered. These aren't covered. These ones aren't covered, so neither of us are getting any trade goods. So we go on to our next turn. We're now thinking that it's time to start putting down some of these. Do we want to though? Like, we could put, yeah, I think so. I think this is the time where we put down the control tokens. We're going to spend the trade good, which allows us to put an extra control token. So we can put down 3 control tokens for the Aztecs. Now, the obvious places we're going to put 1 there, because this now puts us into a maturing city. We can put 1 there, and we can put 1 there, and that surrounds both of these cities. So next time we get round, they're both going to be considered maturing. It also means I can now start using this one for my caravans, so I'm a little bit further ahead. Now, this is where it's interesting because I want to focus on attacking, and I feel like if I start upgrading my attacking technology, then I'm going to be able to start killing stuff. Now, you can build on spawning locations, so these are the spawning locations of the barbarians, and if I build on those locations, the barbarians won't respawn. But I don't want to build on them because I actually want to be farming them. I want to be killing them over and over and trying to gain from that. So part of my decision making here is about how can I position myself in a way where I can keep killing the barbarians without kind of trapping myself in. And I might have to build over this one anyway, just for the maturity stuff. I'm still a little bit undecided on that front. So, Romans, where are we going? So I think that maybe it's time for our foreign trade. Our card is up in the mountain area. We can release the caravan from this city because of our special ability. And what am I going to do? I'm going to move across, move across, move across. We're going to go to Ambanis Eris. I cannot pronounce these things. Oh my god, that was awful. I've been practicing this for like 20 minutes in my head, and I know that that is not how you say it. Oh, we're not even going to try again. We came across to this city. So what happens here is I get 2 trade goods equal to this type. So these are going to come straight over onto this card by default. When you go to a city, you get 2 trade goods of the type of that city to put on the card. Now this will now automatically go back to my economy card, so foreign trade card, and I also now get to take one of these cards. This is a kind of city specific kind of what's the word? Agreement. I don't know what the correct word is. Diplomacy card. There we go, where we're getting a bonus for having become friends with them. So now, when you are building a wonder, reduce its cost by 2 if you do not already have a wonder of its type. So that's really useful for me. I hadn't even read this card, but actually that's perfect because we've said already that we want to fight for getting some of these wonders, and this card is just going to allow us to reduce the cost. In the bottom left hand corner you can see the cost of these cards. So 7 and 8, reducing it by 2 is a good deal. I also got 2 trade goods, which is going to make it easier for me to buy some wonders. So I'm pretty happy with how that worked out. Totally planned, totally designed how I wanted it to happen. Next turn, the Aztecs. We are moving on with our barbarian raiders. So we get a 5 and they're all coming back along to the left hand side. So 1, 2, 3. Yep, that seems fine. I'm not 100% sure whether the barbarians can go into the city or not, but I don't really feel like it's going to affect the game too much, so I'm going to just leave it and let it happen. It might be possible that they skip past it or they bounce back, but who knows? It's not going to break the game. The Aztecs and the Romans have come to a mutual agreement that we're not even going to care and we're just going to keep on going. So it's the Aztecs' time, and the Aztecs are wondering, it's time to get some tech. This is in the 5 track. So as you can see, like, you really want to try and get your cards in a way that the order you're using them is always most optimal. And I think for the last few turns I've been using the 5 track, and it's not really by coincidence. It just happens to be those are the things that I want to be doing. So I'm going to use this, which is going to give me advance your tech dial by a number of spaces equal to the slot number, which is 5. Spend trade goods to increase it by 1. So I'm going to spend that, and that's going to allow me to increase my tracker from 0 to 6. Now I'm keeping in mind that I want to get to 24 to get the Technophile achievement over here. Now each time you move past one of these things, that allows you to upgrade a card. So I move past 2 number 2s, and that means that I can now take the deck and I can start upgrading my cards. As you can see, there are basically the 5 types, which are the icons. So there's level 2, 3 and 4 of this type, 2, 3 and 4 of this type, and so on. So now I can upgrade any card to a type 2 of the same, or level 2 of the same type. So let's have a look. We could upgrade our to drama and poetry. So we can upgrade our control token placement. So I can place 2 control tokens, and then I can move 1 control token to an adjacent non-water space. So this allows me to basically move some of my control tokens around. I'm not too keen on that yet. Currency. Move each of your caravans up to 4 spaces instead of 3 spaces. You get a second caravan, and you can move into barbarian spaces. One thing with this game is there are lots and lots of cards with a lot of text, so there's going to be a little bit of reading the first few times you play through this. I don't care about trading really. I'm not too fussed about trading on this side of things. So animal husbandry. Husbandry, does that mean I'm marrying the animals? I do not know. I don't think I'm becoming the husband of an animal, but I don't understand English, and okay, that is strange. I'm going to Google that one and regret speaking out loud. So build 1 world wonder. Your production equals this slot's number, or build 1 city on a legal space within 3 spaces. I believe the normal is within 2 spaces, so that's an upgrade. Or build 1 city on empty space and that's near one of your caravans. So this is effectively allowing you to build cities near your caravans as well. Ironworking, reinforce the number of control tokens or perform up to 2 attacks within 3 friendly spaces. Your combat values equal to slot number +1 or +3 if attacking barbarians. So I'm definitely going to take that. I want to upgrade my combat for sure. So I'm going to be upgrading my masonry into ironworking, so I get additional kind of pluses on my rolls. But I did get to do 2. So what else have we got in here? Mathematics. Place 1 trade token from the supply on your focus card, then advance your tech. So this is an advanced version of astrology, where as well as advancing your tech, you're also getting to place trade tokens. And that sounds amazing for me because I'm really wanting to focus on both tech and combat, so that seems like the perfect card for me to upgrade. Let's just put these ones back into the deck so we don't lose them for next time round. And that goes away. This one's going to come back up here. This was the card we used, so these are all going to move across. This one's going to come up. And now we've upgraded 2 of our cards, so we're starting to have different options to the Romans. The Romans are thinking, what should we do? We do want to buy the Wonder. Are we at a point where we can buy that Wonder yet? So the Wonder, the cost, let's have a look. We're in a column 4. And I get a 2 discount, so that gives me 6 by default. I also have a diamond over here, which I can use every turn for free. And any resource in the bottom right corner, you can spend on that Wonder. So this one here and this one here, I can use the diamond for, and the diamond is worth 2. Any resource is worth plus 2 points. So I've got 4, 5, 6, because I don't have any wonders, 7, 8. So effectively I can buy these 2, either of these by default. So when defending, increase your combat value by 2. Barbarians cannot move into spaces containing your cities or reinforce control tokens. So that could be a good defense against barbarians. I'm also aware the Aztecs are being quite aggressive. So maybe I want to increase my defense. And this one over here, the Great Lighthouse, when building cities, you can build in empty spaces on the edge of the map as if they were within friendly spaces. So the Great Lighthouse allows me to build basically around the edge of the board. So that's also really handy. Now, I kind of like the defense, but I'm looking at my objective over here, which is to get 2 yellows and 2 blues. So I think I'm going to go for the Great Lighthouse, because not only is it going to allow me to build cities wherever, but it also is going to start pushing me towards this objective. So I'm going to use my diamond, which basically just gets a one-time use for this turn. And then that's going to give me 2. This is going to give me 4, which is 6. The card gives me plus 2, which is 8. So now I don't even have to spend my trade goods. The card can move back down to the end of the track. And now I've got a new wonder for the rest of the game. And it's cool, you know, I'm starting to build stuff up. We're starting to become different. We're starting to have different plans, different strategies, and we're doing different things. I'm over here. It's time for the barbarians to spawn. And simply any barbarian that's been killed gets put back onto its spawning ground. Now, it's going to be 2 turns before it attacks, but I probably do want to make sure that I kill them before they start attacking, because if they move on to either of my 2 spaces, that's going to be really painful for me. The problem is they're both on mountains, and my combat one is down here, but I do get plus 3 if I'm attacking a barbarian, so that's kind of already helping me out. So I probably want to get my iron working along one so it becomes 4 by default. That's going to give me a really good chance, because these are on mountains. They have a defense of 5 plus a dice, so they're going to be between 6 and 11. If I get my iron working to 4, then I'm going to be 7 plus a dice, so I'm going to have a slight advantage, but I don't feel comfortable just yet. I also want to kind of keep expanding. I want to keep growing so that when we get to this trade goods, perhaps I'll be ready to get extra ones. But what am I going to do? Could I build a city perhaps? I mean, we're in a good place to build a city down here, and my kind of thinking is actually if I build a city here and I build a city here, then these 2 are going to help mature that one. This one will only need 1 more token to be matured. I could build another city here, then I'm only going to have 1 more token for maturity here, 2 tokens for maturity there. I'm going to get these resources, and that's going to give me 3 cities plus 2, which would be 5 mature cities, and then I only need to get 3 more cities for the civilized. So that's kind of the plan that's going through in my head right now. The question is, what's the most efficient way of doing this? Because I can now build on mountains, but I can't reach to this space. So I want to, because when you've got to go within 2 spaces of a friendly space, you can't go through the enemy things. So I'm going to probably come over here, I think, actually, and I think I'm just going to build the city straight over here. Now, that's not quite as optimal as what I was looking to do. I'd like to be here, but for the time being, that seems like a safer bet. So I'm going to move my pottery card down. That's going to bring my iron working up, so I'm going to be able to do the attacks next turn. And we're back over to the Romans. So what are we doing now with the Romans? We finally bought a wonder, and we should reveal the next one over here. So we could advance our tech dial, which could be useful. I mean, that's at the 5 now, and it would be good to get that out of the way. But we also could place some control tokens. Now, can we find a way to get cities matured before we get to there? We've got 1, 2, 3 turns. So possibly, I mean, let's have a look. We could get it onto these 2 for sure. If we get it onto those 2 now, then we don't have any extra trade goods, so we're only going to be able to do 2. Then next turn we could put it here and do 2 more, but we're still going to be 1 short. So that isn't going to help us unless we can find a way to get an extra trade good onto this card. So can we find a way to get a trade good onto the early empire card? This is the music symbol. None of these have the music symbol, so I don't think there's going to be any easy way for me to achieve that. So I wonder what's the tech upgrade of early empire? So the tech upgrade of that is place 2, then you may move one of your control tokens. That's not going to help me either. So we probably want to look at just maturing one of them. I think it's really powerful to mature them because it gives you extra trade goods, and extra trade goods give you effectively the way to do more on an action. So I feel like I'm going to use the early empire, and I am going to go for the 2 control tokens. And the question is, where do I put them? I guess it makes sense to put them on the highest terrain type first. So the forest here is terrain type 3, and then probably on one of the hill types. So let's put this here, because then at least we could possibly mature this one if we get the opportunity, because it's only going to be 1 basic space. The cards are going to move across. This is coming across. The tracker moves on to the next event. We're back to the Aztecs, and the Aztecs are wondering, how am I going to get rid of foreign trade? I don't really care about foreign trade. It's not something I'm too fussed about. It's not something I'm really working on, and it's just sitting here, stopping my other cards getting up to the 5. So I need to attack. I need to kill these. They're going to move in a second. I need to kill these. We were going to do what? We were going to do the ironworking. That was what we were doing. That was the plan. Okay, good. I remember the plan. We were doing ironworking. We're going to attack these. So we're going to attack C first. So I'm going to attack C first. I get a 6 on there, and what's C going to get? C is going to get a 6 as well. So C is going to get 6 plus 5, which is 11. I'm getting 6 plus 4, which is 10. But because I've got this upgrade, it's actually now 13, which means I do win that fight. This one comes on. I get a trade good, which I'm going to put on... I think I'm going to put it on the control token space so I can keep pushing more of those out. I'm now going to attack B. What am I getting for B? Another 6. That's 3 6s in a row. It can't be a 4th. It's 4 6s in a row. But we already know the maths works out, so I win that. My goodness, I wish I was playing with someone else now so that I could just be like winning everything and super happy. But you know, life doesn't work that way. So I've won a combat. That means I can rearrange a card, so I can get rid of this foreign trade now, and I can bring any of these cards up to the end. What's going to be the most beneficial for me this turn? Possibly building the city might be a good bet. So actually, I might bring the city building card all the way up to the top, because that's going to allow me to build onto mountains. I can now build onto this mountain, because when you build a city, it can't be adjacent to an existing city. And then if I get on that mountain, I could possibly then put a control token on this mountain, which is going to be unfortunate, but it will stop the barbarians spawning from here. And that means that I've got loads of time to get that done. So I'm feeling like that. City here, control token, city here, control token, control token. And then we can get some resources. Maybe we'll be able to start buying some wonders there. We're coming over to Rome. Rome is ready to go. What are we going to do? So what has been our plan over here? We've got our caravans moving up. We want to put some more stuff down. We want to build some wonders. I mean, we're only in the 2, but we get this +2 bonus. We've got some trade goods. We've got some diamonds. So possibly we could just be greedy and start buying some stuff. But I don't know if that's going to really help us right now. It's not going to give us much. So we could, maybe this is when we start advancing our tech. I don't really want to be attacking. Maybe I should be moving my caravans a little bit more. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to advance a tech, and that's going to allow me to increase by 5. Increasing by 5 just gives me 1 upgrade. But I think I'm going to get the foreign trade upgrade over here. So I can now have 2 caravans that can move 4 spaces. Your caravans can move into barbarian spaces. If you move a caravan into a barbarian space, defeat that barbarian without getting a trade token. So actually, by doing this, I can now start using my caravans to destroy barbarians. I can start moving caravans around more, and I can start moving them further. So this gives me the second caravan, which I'm going to put onto here. And actually, I feel like that's a good plan. I feel like that's going to work. The caravans are going to allow me to get more trade goods. The trade goods are going to allow me to upgrade my stuff more. Having more stuff is going to allow me to buy more things and do more things and power up quicker. So we're coming over here. Time moves on. We're going to roll the dice, and we've got a 5. It's not a 6 this time. So things are moving across. We're moving to the left. This is moving to the left. This is moving to the left. And I think we're good. I think that's everything. So we're back to the Aztecs, and what are we going to do? We want to build that city. What are we doing? We're building a city. We're going to take one of our city tiles, and we're going to place it, I believe we said here. This seems like the logical place. We could be building it here, but if we were to build it here, then we wouldn't be able to build another one here. So I think we're going to build it over here whilst we're on the 5. That's good to me. We're going to move these across. We're going to move this one back up, and then back to the Romans. That was a nice quick turn, and I feel like the turns in this game can go quickly. People can plan, especially when there's this low interaction, which is what is happening at the moment. We're not really impacting each other much, but I think as soon as the Aztecs are done in this corner, they're going to start coming over here for the Romans. So the Romans, what are we going to do? Are we able to barrister ourselves in? Do we want to do that? I don't want to attack stuff just yet. I could start moving my caravans, and that would allow me to get some spaces. But, I mean, what does Genova? At the start of your turn, you may return a diplomacy card you've taken from another player and do that. When defending an attacking target, other than that, increase your combat value. I'm not too worried about getting these ones over here. So I'm not really sure the best bet. I could try and mature my city before this next turn, but possibly that's a waste of a turn. It doesn't seem overly effective to use an entire turn just to do that. I could build another city, but again, that's not going to give me anything just yet. Do I want to go for a wonder? I could try and go for another yellow. You can place trade tokens on this card instead of on your focus cards up to a limit of 4. At the start of the turn, you may move trade tokens from this card to the cards in your focus. So that sounds good. So you can basically start moving trade goods. That could work really well for me, actually, because I'm getting a lot of trade goods by going to these, and allowing them to come onto this card and then redistribute them how I want could be a really nice little engine. But this is going to cost 9. I've already got a yellow, so I'm no longer getting the 2 discount. I've got the diamonds here, which is going to be 2, so it's going to cost me 7. So I'm going to have to come up to here to be able to buy that. And we are a way away from that. I do have 2 on here though. So if I get pottery up to 5, that's going to make it a value of 5. Plus 2 is 4, is 9. That gets me to there. So that's probably going to be the best bet for me. I don't really want to attack stuff. I don't really want to reinforce stuff. But I do need to get rid of this card. I think for the time being, I'm going to use the currency. I'm going to move each of my caravans. But again, I want them to be able to move over the mountains. So I'm going to use masonry just because I need it out of the track. I need to get currency here. I need to get pottery here. Masonry is just in the way, so I can reinforce a couple of my tokens. I could attack, but I don't fancy my chances fighting stuff that's over on mountains. So I'm going to move these across. Again, not a great turn there, but I feel like I've got a plan. I can see the next 2 turns being really good for me, and then I can start seeing the engine coming together. Now, Aztecs, time is moving on. So mature cities, we've got 1 mature, 2 mature cities. So the Aztecs are going to get 2 trade goods they can put wherever they like. And we're about to go mass control token. So you can only have 3 trade goods on 1 card at a single time. So I'm going to put 1 of them on here to give us the extra one. And then I reckon I'm going to go for mathematics because I can start pushing the tech tree up even more. So again, we're going to go for the control tokens, then we're going to go for the tech, which puts it into this column. It will make it 5. This will give it +1, which will be 6. That will put us on to 12. This card itself allows us to put an extra token on something as well. That pushes up to 13, and then we're nearly we're over halfway to 24 at that point. So that seems like a good plan over here. For the Romans, we don't have any mature cities, so we are losing out. We're not going to get those bonuses. So it's the Aztecs' turn, and we're going to do our early empire. So we're going to place 2 control tokens down on places, and it can be basically anything because we are in that 5 zone. So we're going to place 1 there, and we're going to place 1 there. Placing this here gives me the oil barrel, which is a one-time use, and I've also got the mercury, so I should be keeping an eye on some of the wonders I might be able to buy. And now I'm going to spend 3 more trade goods, which is going to allow me to put down 3 more tokens. Now, this is going to be really powerful for me because I can put these 2 over here, I can put this one in here, and that's going to give me some marble as well. So I've got a lot of resources this turn, and it's now given me another 2 cities which are matured. And if I place 1 more city here and another token here, that's going to really push me up into a good spot. So I'm really confident, I'm feeling really powerful, and now I've already got 4 mature cities. I'm well on my way to getting 5 mature cities. I'm well on my way to getting the 24 tech as of my next turn, and I've already got 4 cities out of 8, so I'm halfway to civilized. So I feel within 4 or 5 turns, I could be a good way through these objectives. Red, on the other hand, Red is not doing so well. Red needs to get these cards. I mean, if we buy this one, that does complete the yellow one. And I guess we're on our way to mature cities as well. We're going to be able to buy this one fairly cheaply. So I think that once we've got the Great Zimbabwe, oh my goodness, why do I even try? Once we've got this yellow card over here, that's going to give us more resource tokens, and that's going to allow us to start this engine. It's going to allow us to push ourselves to buy more of these. So I'm actually really intrigued. I'm not sure at this point. I mean, I have no idea how this is going to turn out. So we're going to take our 2 caravans. Because of my ability, I can take them from non-mature cities. I can move 4 spaces across mountainous terrain. How far am I going to get up here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that doesn't push me quite close enough. Oh my goodness, I thought I was actually closer than that, but I'm not. That's not so great news, but it does position me for next turn. So this one is going to give me 2 trade goods of a type which I already have. Oh, that has not worked out as well as I hoped because I've already got 1 of those, or 2 of those. You can only have 3 on the card. So I believe the 4th one is just going to be discarded. This caravan comes back to the card. This one stays here out in the fields, lost and hopeless, just like the Romans are. And it's going to get interesting. It's going to be an interesting one because that's not so bad, because next turn I'm going to buy this, and this allows me to start redistributing my focus how I want, or my trade goods how I want to. So actually preparing this so next turn I'm going to be able to get more trade goods is actually not too bad. It's probably better than just putting them on astrology, which I'm not really focusing on too much. So maybe by sheer dumbness, I'm actually doing okay. We're coming over here, we're going to move on, and it's a 2. So 2 means they're heading over to the right. So off to the right we go. Off to the right we go, and off to the right we go. Back to these guys. So it's time for us to do mathematics. We're going to place 1 trade token from the supply on one of my focus cards. We're going to place it on mathematics. We're then going to advance our tech dial 5 spaces, which puts us up to 11. We're then going to spend 2 trade goods to increase that by another 2, which is going to push us on to 13. This is going to push us past the free tier, which means we can now upgrade one of our cards to a level 3. Now, this is where it gets a bit interesting, because I could upgrade foreign trade, pottery, or early empire to a 3, or mathematics or ironworking, but I've already pushed my science and military up a little bit, so a 2 to a 3 is realistically not going to be as good as a 1 to a 3. But let's have a look. So, where are we at? We've got a civilized service. So place 2 control tokens on spaces, then place 1 control token on a space matching this slot's terrain on adjacent to a friendly space. So this would allow me to start putting 3 control tokens down a turn. But I've already nearly got my 5 mature ones, so I don't know anymore whether that's going to be such a big deal for me. Like, a couple of turns ago, that would be great, and over here for the Romans, that could be really powerful, but I don't think I'm really that interested. Steam power. Move each of your caravans up to 6 spaces. They can move into spaces matching the slot's train or lower, then you may exchange one of your resource tokens for another one. So this would push me in having 2 caravans that can move 6 spaces, but oh my goodness, and I can move through water, so arguably I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, I could get over here, I could get over here. This would allow me to buy some wonders cheaper. This is going to make me stronger when I'm attacking. So maybe that could be good. I mean, getting rid of a horse and getting a train seems like a positive. Nationalism. So build 1 world wonder. Your production equals this slot's number plus 2. So actually this means that when you do wonder purchasing, it's going to be basically, if you're in slot 5, you get an extra 2 to spend. Or build a city within 4 spaces. And you can do it through water. Now that could be really interesting if I want to start advancing in on the Romans. And I'm actually quite tempted. I think that being able to advance on the Romans could be really, really useful. Military, and perform 2 attacks within 3 spaces. So I think that's just going to allow me to attack, no, similar distance. Oh, okay, so your combat value is this slot plus 2, so that's going to give me a little bit of extra strength in combat, but I feel like I'm doing okay with that. Gain 1 resource of your choice from the supply. You gain a resource of a type that you cannot get one you've already got, then advance your tech dial. So that would allow me to get resources, but I'm quite happy with the trade tokens. So I'm actually thinking that the nationalism is probably going to be a good bet for me, which is strange because I wasn't really thinking about getting that, but actually upgrading, getting the bonus so I can buy wonders for a bit cheaper if they're over in the 5 column could be handy, but actually being able to build my cities through water and advancing on the Roman Empire seems like a great way for the Aztecs to come in. So my mathematics is going to move down. It's going to move down to the end. We're coming over to the Romans, and the Romans, I can see the invading army. They're feeling a little bit behind, and they're thinking, you know what? It's time for us to go and upgrade. We're going to use the pottery. We're going to use pottery to fight back against the Aztecs. So we're going to build a wonder. That's going to give us a value of 5. This is going to give us a value of 7. We want to get this yellow card. It's going to cost us 9. So we're going to use 2 of our trade goods, which we're going to chuck over here. And that's going to give us this card. Now that's going to move us across. It's going to put pottery back to the start. It's now meaning that we can place trade tokens on this card instead of focus card on these cards up to a limit of 4. And at the start of my turn, I can move them from here onto cards. So I've got a bit of an engine going. I'm quite happy with that. And I've got to remember that I can build cities around the edge of the map. That's also interesting. But more importantly, I now have 2 yellow wonders, so I can put this over here to show that I've completed this card. So red has now completed 1 of the 3 objectives. We're coming back over here. It's time for our armies to spawn. Now, from now on, C can no longer spawn because it's under this tile. So unless someone comes along and kills it, C is no longer happening, but B is strong and ready. So, what are we going to do with the Aztecs? I mean, we want to build a city here, and this is in a just grasslands. It's flat land, so we can do that basically anywhere. There's no need for us to upgrade the card. So I feel that I'm just going to build that. I'm just going to build the city. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to put it in here. Then I'm going to look to get it the control token down, so this city's also matured. That would get me to 5, and it's also going to allow me to get extra trade goods when we get to here. This is also pushing us back, which is helping mathematics move along, and it's really important we get our tech up here so we can start pushing that around as well. So I'm happy with the Aztecs. The Romans, oh my goodness, what are we doing? What are we doing? We really need to get ourselves in order over here, and it's a struggle. I feel like we're falling behind. Like we've got, maybe we want to push our early empire up. Maybe we want to sorry, not our early empire, but maybe, oh my goodness. I feel like we want to get some control tokens out. But maybe we want to get our caravans over to these. To get our caravans to here, we need to get our currency over to this location. To get over to this location, we're going to have to push it up by 4 because it's mountains. So that's a way away. We could buy another wonder, but this is right at the bottom. I mean, what are these other wonders going to give us? Let's have a look. So when defending, that increases our defense. After you've placed a control token on a hill, you may place a control token on one or more hill spaces adjacent to that space. So that would allow me to massively spread along here, but that's not a huge deal. I mean, it's good, but it's not massive. At the start of your turn, you may swap 2 adjacent cards. Now that's blue, and that is going to get me off this objective 1 tick. So I do need to do that. And actually, it's going to have a discount of 2, so it's only going to cost me 6. And that's quite a good card. So unfortunately, this is all the way down here. So if we need to get 6, we can use Mercury or Marble. There's some Marble here. So maybe we want to start moving towards getting this Marble, or we can move towards getting this Marble, or we can move towards getting this Mercury. These ones have got some barbarians, so maybe this one's a bit safer. So maybe we want to build a city. Like, we could use this again because, like, we could build a city here, and then that's going to allow us to control token these, which will allow us to do some stuff. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It's surprising, it's a shocker, it's not what I expected, but I'm just going to reuse pottery and I'm going to put a city down here. That's not helping me move across, but as I can use the control tokens on my next turn as a 5, that will allow me to start coming over here and taking some of these as well. So maybe that might just work out okay for us. Back to the Aztecs, we're moving on, and the Aztecs are in a powerful position. They really are in a good position right now. I think that we're going to get that other control token down. But maybe not yet. There's not a rush yet. We can move our caravans and get them out of the way. We could reinforce some of our stuff. I mean, maybe we want to attack this because it is coming into our land again. So maybe we want to get into a fighting situation. I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to fight. I think we're going to use the ironworking, and we're just going to fight this barbarian. We don't want to start losing our stuff. We could reinforce stuff, but honestly, I think just killing it and getting the extra trade good is more valuable for us right now. So let's attack the barbarian. So we're going to roll for our fight. We get a 5. He's on a mountain, so he is getting a +5. So he's on 10. I've got 4 + 5, which is 9. But I do still get my bonus of +3 when attacking barbarians, which means I'm on 12. He's on 10. So I'm still going to win. Unfortunately, these barbarians are not having much luck against me. I am going to get a trade good. And the real question now is, what am I going to put it on? I don't feel like I really need to get more control tokens. I don't feel like I'm moving my caravan very much. I do feel like I want to get my tech up more. So mathematics, if I get up to here, which is 5, with this, which would be 6, that would put me up to 19, which would give me a level 4 card. So I feel like putting it onto mathematics could be really useful. And now, because I've completed the a combat and I've won, I can now swap a card. And I could just push mathematics right up to the end. Or, I don't know. I mean, we could, like, if I bring this up to the end, it's going to get me the level 4 upgrade, and I don't know really what that's going to give us. I don't know the cards well enough. I could bring the wonder card up, which would allow me to buy some wonders, but and I do have the money for that, but wonders are not really the approach I'm going for. I'm really going for city building, and I do need to build some cities, and upgrading nationalism to the end isn't going to help. So I think I'm just going to move mathematics. That seems like the right bet for me. That's going to give me the more tech in the future turns, and my city building I can just do anyway without it having to move along, because I only really want to build in hills and hills. So I think we're good. I think we're okay with that. So Romans, where are we going to go? The Romans are wandering. How are they coming back? We've built this city. The goal was to come over here. We're going to place our 2 control tokens. And I think that's going to be the best bet for us. We're just going to place the 2 control tokens onto this and this, which is going to give us more resources. That's going to make it even easier for us to buy some stuff. And that's going to help us really push getting these other wonders. So I'm okay with that. I feel like we've got a bit of a plan over here. I feel like it's okay. The real challenge is I do need to still get 5 mature cities, and I'm a long way away from that. So maybe I want to push my tech up, and I really want to aim to try and get that card we saw earlier, which would allow me to put more control tokens down. But it's over to the Aztecs, and the Aztecs are thinking it's time to roll the dice, and it's a 2. They're all moving to the right for these barbarians. These barbarians have not really come and invaded our territory very much during this game, but that's not a problem. We are okay. The Aztecs are thinking, okay, we could... Next turn is when the trade good supplies come in. So we want to get our cities built now. So I think it's time just to take nationalism, and we're building a city. We're just going to take one of the cities. And, oh no, it's not the city we want down here, is it? This is just a control token. But we didn't want to do that just yet. We wanted to build another city so we could start ramping that up as well. So I think that we're just going to build a city. I think that that's okay because we can start messing with the Romans a little bit. That could be interesting. Build a city within 4 spaces of a friendly space. You can count through water. So we could... where are we going to go? Let's have a look. We could go 1, 2, 3, 4. That could be good because that's going to stop these guys being able to do this. However, I'm only on hills, so I can't go onto deserts. Oh no! But I do think I can just come over and say, hi guys, we found you. The Aztecs have finally met the Romans on the board, and why not? Why not come and have a little bit of fun with them whilst we're working our way to our own personal glorified victory of happiness and joy and galore. The Romans aren't happy. The Aztecs are invading. We do not know what's going on anymore. I mean, why are the Aztecs here? What are these weird green creatures doing running around on this board? Maybe we want to get our currency up. We need to get those trade goods. We want to buy more stuff. So we were working towards this blue one. So the blue one's costing us 8. And we could use marble, which we do now have marble for. So that brings the cost down to 6. We do have the reduction of 2 for new ones. That would bring it down to 4. We have this that brings it down to 3. So we do need to get this pottery to here so that we can buy that world's wonder. So we need to use one of these 3 cards. Maybe astrology is going to be a good bet for us right now. That's going to allow us to move that across. I don't really want to attack stuff. I don't want to reinforce stuff. I could move my caravans, but again, I really want to get them onto the mountains unless I start coming up here. I mean, I could go 1, 2, 3, 4 and start moving towards this location, which would give me some extra defense. But, oh my god. No, I think we can go for astrology. I mean, it's at the end of the track. It's a 5. We need to get it out of the way. 5 points is going to move us up here from 5 on to 10. That's going to give us a level 3 technology. So what are we going to go for level 3? Civil service. So control tokens 2. Then we can place an additional 1. That could be really good for us. Getting an extra control token each turn could be really powerful. Steam power, move your caravans up to 6 spaces. That does mean we could get there every time in one action. We could also go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're only going through forests. So that could be hugely powerful for me to get a whole bunch of trade goods. Oh my goodness, I think that both of those cards could be really good for us. World Wonders being cheaper when you're at this end is not going to help us much. Mass production, performing extra attacks and reinforcing is not helpful. Gaining resources of your choice when you do tech is... Oh my god, what are we going to go for? I think more control tokens or moving further. I mean, arguably moving further is going to allow us to get to these things more often, which is going to give us more trade goods, which is possibly going to allow us to put trade goods onto control tokens, onto our early empire, which allows us to get more control tokens. So I think we're going to go with steam power, just because I think that kind of combos up a little bit more with what we've been going for. So I'm going to go for that. I'm going to bring steam power up here, and I'm feeling okay. Like, it feels like the Aztecs are really ahead, but I feel like the Romans have got a better plan. I think like Aztecs are just going a little bit crazy. Saying that, they're going through. Oh, we're moving this up. We're getting our trade goods, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 over here, which is 4 trade goods over for the Aztecs. And, what are we going to do? We're going to put them on... I think we're going to put 2 on mathematics, so we can push that up further. And then we're probably going to do a couple on early empire, just so we can put some more control tokens down and possibly push the Romans back even further. So... over here, we still don't have them. We've not matured any cities. That's terrible planning for the Romans. I take it all back. They're totally screwed. They have no chance of winning this. The Aztecs are coming in. They're doing mathematics. They're doing it for 5, 6, 7, 8. They're on 13. That's going to push them up to 21. That gives them a level 4 technology. Wow, a level 4. What are we going to go for? Mass media, place 3 control tokens and then choose a rival control token within 2 spaces of a friendly space. And if it's unreinforced, replace it with one of your own. We could start... Oh yes, I mean, I don't even care what the other cards are. It doesn't matter. I can now start just... Oh my goodness, I'm not even taking the right cards away. I'm too excited. I don't even know what Romans are going to do about that. I mean... I can now start overriding their control tokens? That's so powerful, but I guess it's level 4, so who cares about the rest of it? Mathematics is going to the end. So now we're on 21 of 24, and we've basically got 5 cities, so we do need to build a couple more cities out here. So we're so close with the Aztecs now. They're really close for this being all over for them. The Romans, it's time, Romans. We need to really push this. So I think we're doing steam power, and I think steam power is going to come out. We can move 6 spaces of desert type and below. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's going to come over to here. This means we're going to get both of these 2 cards, which are going to give us a whole bunch of extra diplomatic bonuses. And we're going to get 2 trade goods for this one. We're going to get 2 trade goods for this one. And because of our wonder, we can now put them onto this card instead, and then we can reassign them in the next turns. So at the start of your turn, you may return 1 diplomacy card you have taken from another player. If you do, choose a different one. So this would allow me to swap diplomacy cards if I'd taken one from another player. When defending or attacking a target other than Carthage, which is the location, increase your combat value by 1 for each city state token on friendly. So yeah, this is going to help me with combat and so on. But I've now got 4 trade goods, which I can redistribute on my next turn. So we're moving up. We're going to roll the dice. We're going to get a 3. 3 means we're coming this way. The barbarians have finally found out that they can move in different directions. And if a barbarian crosses water, it keeps going until it comes out the other side. If it hits the map, it bounces off and goes the other way. So the barbarians have now surrounded the Romans. They really are not having a great time over there. And mass media. Oh, it's going to happen. Place 3 control tokens on matching slots. So I'm not even taking the right tokens, so I'm too excited. We're going to put one over here, which is maturing this one. That gives us our 5 mature cities, which means we finally completed our first objective over here for the Aztecs. We're now going to place another one here, so we can start blocking off this barbarian place, and we're going to place another one here. Now, no, we're going to put it on the mountains, actually, because we might as well put it on the higher level one. 1 on the desert over here. And now, then choose a rival control token within 2 spaces of a friendly space. If the rival control token is unreinforced, replace it with 1. If it's reinforced, switch it over. So I'm going to attack this, and I'm going to turn it over. I'm choosing this one because it's close to the barbarians, and that means that if these barbarians move onto it, it's going to be totally annihilated, and that is really exciting. I'm also going to spend 2 more trade goods to put down 2 more tokens on the board here, and I am feeling the joys of my Aztec empire. I've just matured another city, and I don't even need to mature anymore. I am turns away from winning this game. The Romans are fighting back. It's time for them to build some wonders. They need to build some wonders. So they're going to go for this one. This wonder is going to cost them 8. So as we've already said, the marble over here we could use. Well, at the start of my turn, I'm going to put 2 of these onto here for sure. So I've got 3. I got this, which is 4, 5. I get the 2 card discount, which is 6, 7. And I'm going to use one of these, which is 8. So, but I'm not going to spend marble. I think I'm going to spend 2 extra trade goods instead, because I can replace the trade goods easier than I can replace the marble. So that is going to allow me to buy this. Now, every turn, at the start of my turn, I can swap 2 adjacent cards in my row as well. So that's looking pretty handy. That's going to allow me to push cards further up my track quicker. Time is moving on. We're going to roll the dice. The barbarians are going to spawn. The only location it can spawn now is for B. I don't know why I rolled the dice. I'm getting too excited because we're getting close to the end of the game, and I'm really intrigued to see whether these Romans can come back. The Aztecs just want to keep pushing those cities. They need to push this up by another 3, which they're so close to doing. So let's build a city. We're going to build a city, and we're just going to build a city in here. We have the place. It's within the location we can build, so that's going to move down. They've got 7. 1 more city gives them the 8. Mathematics gives them this. So they are basically 2 turns away now from being able to start taking over this world. And I'm excited. I'm excited for them because the Romans don't want this to happen, and the Romans don't really know if there's anything they can do at this point to stop them. Attacking them and doing things isn't going to help. All the Romans can do is hope that they've got the ability to somehow catch up and push back. So what's this new blue card? This is going to cost 10, and it's going to be mercury and marble. So we do have 2 marble. We do have this, and I can rearrange cards. So there's so many things. I mean, I've gained so many different abilities. I've got 3 diplomatic relations. I've got 3 wonders, but I haven't gained a tech. Whilst over here I've gained a tech, I've built the armies, and I'm struggling. I'm feeling I need this for 10, but I don't get the 2 discount anymore. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I'm nowhere near being able to buy that. I do need to get my 5 mature cities. So how do I get 5 mature cities? Or I can try and push back over here, or I could fight these guys off. Oh my god. I think that there's not much I'm going to be able to do now. I don't think that there's much I'm going to be able to do to come back. So what I'm thinking is I just want to try and build some cities. But building some cities is the same as the wonders. And I wonder if that's where I've fallen behind. Because effectively the Aztecs have gone for 2 cards. They've gone for mathematics and then they've gone for building. Whilst all of mine, the wonders and the building, are all through 1 card. And I feel like that's the mistake I've made. I've not split my... Whilst I've kind of gone for 2 different types of things, I've not split myself well. So the only other option I've got is if I could put a control token here, but there is no way I can get round to here, is there? I just don't think I can do it. I can only build control tokens adjacent to my cities. I can build a city. Can I build a city adjacent to my thing if I got that upgrade? No, I don't think I got that. So these 2 should have come back. I do apologise. Yeah, I'm really struggling. I think that the best bet for me now really is to we need to place these control tokens. Just trying to get myself... Well, we need to kill these. I mean, we can't afford to have stuff killed over here. These guys have already pushed us back. So I think we're going to have to just fight those. This gets masonry out of the way. So I think we're going to fight. So we're going to go for I first. We're going to get a 6. And I is going to get a 6. 6 is on 1, which is 7. 6 is on 5, is 11. So I'm going to kill that one, and I am going to get a trade good that can come onto my card. We're going to attack D now. We get 3 for that, which is not quite so good. He gets a 6. So 6 plus 2 is 8. 3 plus 5 is 8. Defender wins. I could spend trade goods, but I don't have trade goods, so I don't even achieve the victory. This is the weakest Roman army I have ever seen in a game. This is moving on. We're back to the Aztecs, and the Aztecs know it's only a matter of time. They're now going to build a city. Where can they build a city? That's interesting. They can only build a city. What's my rules for building a city now? Build one city on a legal space of this slot's terrain or lower within 4 spaces of a friendly space. So yeah, I'm going to build a city here. I'm using nationalism. It's just going to stay at the end of the track. Nothing's going to happen. We're coming back to the Romans. The Romans know the game is over, so they're just going to place 2 control tokens just to keep the game moving a little bit. They're going to place 1 control token here. They finally matured 1 city. Again, not maturing the cities is possibly one of the mistakes, but I think the fundamental mistake was the fact that we went for too much of the same thing. Time's going to move on. We're going to now roll the dice. We get a 1. The armies are going to move up in this direction. At least they're moving away from us. It was a good job we did kill this one, otherwise we would have lost something. And over here, the Aztecs are going to do the science, and as you see on the last turn, so I built the 8th city, so I should put this on here for the 8th city. We're doing free mathematics, which is going to push us up from 21 to 24. We get another technology, but it's totally irrelevant because we're not going to use it. We're coming over to the Romans. The Romans are big enough to admit defeat, so they're just going to finish the game by placing 2 more control tokens on the board as well. They're going to place them here. The game has ended. The Aztecs have claimed their final technology, their final achievement, and the game is over. And you know, that's it. That's Sid Meier's Civilization: A New Dawn. And you know, I haven't played this before, as I said at the start of this video, and actually, that was not too bad. You know, for a first play, and all I've done is read the rulebook. I've not watched any videos. I don't really know much about the game. So having played the game, I feel like we managed to get through that okay. It's not a big rulebook. It's about 14 pages. There's a few advanced rules I haven't read for like map setup and things like that. But this was pretty much the whole game. I can clearly see where the different strategies I went for have had advantages and disadvantages. I know next time what I'm going to do differently. I feel like I've got decisions. I feel like I'm going through tech trees. It's an interesting game. It's not complex. It's not too heavy. I don't know how long that took. I'm imagining it's probably like an hour and a half or something along those lines. But yeah. So, if you have questions, please feel free to ask them below. If you've spotted mistakes, let me know, because I'm sure there are many. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, keep on adventuring.